I'm married to a pastor, therefore I would be a pastor's wife. My husband leads a men's ministry. I lead a ministry for wives. And so you would think we would never really have a serious argument, a serious disagreement on anything, because, I mean, after all, we're both filled with the Holy Spirit, we're both being counseled by God, so how could we ever have a disagreement? Yeah, well, we're human, so we do have conflict from time to time, probably kind of like you do in your household. And when my husband disagrees with me, or I disagree with him or whatever, I tend to think, well, naturally, that he's wrong and I'm right. And my job is to convince him that he's wrong and I'm right. And so I'm all bent, I'm all focused on making my points, explaining why I'm right. Does this sound familiar? This usually doesn't end really well, does it? Unless you're a really good debater, I guess. And so there's a smarter way of doing things. And actually, if we just follow a very simple, short little verse in Philippians, we can find the answer. It's Philippians 2, verse 4. It simply says, each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. This is what this looks like when you're in conflict. I intentionally decide to pause, and I intentionally ask Jesus to help me see my husband's perspective through his eyes, behind his eyeballs, filtering it through his experiences, his fears, his childhood wounds, whatever could be causing him to take the position that he's taking. Duh! Sometimes we're so bent on just making our point that we don't pause and try to figure out, why is my husband feeling so strongly about this? What are his fears, his concerns? Again, is he acting out of a place of hurt from something that happened to him in the past? What could be going on? When I intentionally pause and try to look at it through his eyes, often I'll have a light bulb moment and I'll go, oh, I see what this is about. And let me tell you something else. When I intentionally pause and ask Jesus to help me see this through Jesus' eyeballs, through his perspective, often I have even further clarity because Jesus helps me to see that I'm acting out of a place of fear or maybe some childhood wounds that have caused me to filter things and have different emotional reactions to things. And it's like, oh, another light bulb moment. So let's intentionally pause in the midst of the conflict and ask Jesus to help us see this through our husband's eyes and even through Jesus's eyes so that we have a clearer perspective. And if nothing else, we'll probably have a more compassionate perspective, compassionate response to our husband as we try to consider this through his perspective, through his eyes. And when you have compassion, oh my goodness, you're so much closer to conflict resolution.